Good evening and welcome. This is Whole and Beautiful. I am Angela Oliphant, your host, and I am so glad that you all have joined me tonight for a night of information, a night of revelation and change. It is another Friday night, and I am so glad to be with you on tonight. Guys, I am, as you can see, I'm looking away for a moment. I'm pulling everything up on my other device so I can see it from there too. But I'm so glad to be with you all tonight. I hope that something that is going to be said on tonight that is going to really encourage you and really help you along the way. Um, like I said, everything that I give on each night that I am on is for information and it's for revelation and it's for change. I want to see you change for the better. I want you to not fight change, but be able to make the change that you need to make in your life that's going to be a change for the betterment of you. So that's what it's all about. I'm still, having openings for guests to come on if they want to come on. I can share with you the information that I get. And I will share that with you. Good evening, Elder Hines. How are you doing? I am so glad that you are on tonight and that you are gracing us with your presence. Hi, how are you? Um, I am. Oh, thank you for the blue. I was like, yeah, the blue kind of popping tonight. I was like, all right, blue might be another color for me. But anyway, I'm still having my different shows that I'm working on, and I'm talking to different people. But I've been sharing with you all just little nuggets here and there. Like the last time that I was on, I talked to you all about growth, and we talked about growth. And tonight I have another word because, as you know me, if you've listened to me, if you've been on here, if you've been a part of my whole and beautiful nation, you all know that I love words. I love words. So I decided to pull another word and to dive into that word and see what that word is about so that you can share that word with somebody else off of something that you heard tonight. And I hope that it will minister to you. I hope that it will penetrate into your heart so that you will carry it with you and that it'll bring about that change that you need in your life. We all need a little change every now and then. We all need a little joy every now and then. Last week, well, not last week, but the last time I was here, I talked about growth. Tonight, I want to talk about purpose. I want to talk to you about purpose. Like I said before, I love words. And sometimes we look at words and we think that they mean one thing, but when we go to the dictionary, I love to get out a good dictionary, a good Webster dictionary, and go in and just look and see what the word means. I used to go get words out, in which I might start that again, but I used to go and get words out where I would go into the dictionary, find me a new word, put it in a sentence, find out a way that I can utilize that word throughout the course of the day. So that was that will broaden my vocabulary. So I had different words that I loved, and one word was pensive. I love that word, but it was like you're in deep thought, like you're thinking. So I was able to use that in a sentence and use that throughout the course of the day, and I have kept that word with me. And there's other words too, but tonight I want to talk to you about your purpose. Purpose, we hear that a lot. A lot of people do motivational teachings about purpose. They're doing seminars, they're doing workshops, they are talking about purpose everywhere. But tonight I wanted to share with you my take on what purpose really is and what I found out about purpose. Because sometimes if we don't know our purpose, we don't get direction. We don't go in the way that we want to go. We keep going in these opposite directions. And what we don't realize is that we allow other people to influence what our purpose is, when really our purpose is on the inside of us. It's God given. It's already been there since the day you was formed, before you were formed in your mother's womb. God said that he knew you. He knew who you were. And you need to find out who you are. You need to know what your purpose is. Because when you know what your purpose is, you're able to walk in it. You're able to live in it. You're able to go forth in it and to, just relish in it and love being there. Because if have you ever had somebody who said, you know what, this job ain't for me, and they can work the job, they can do the job, but they know that's not in me, that's not what I really want to do, that's not what's really on the inside of me. And a lot of times it's because they are not walking in their purpose. So purpose is the reason for which something is done, is that something is created for, or which it exists for. Why do you exist? It's like the reason why you exist. Why are you here on this earth during this time, 2022? Why are you here? Why are you the age that you are right now? Why were you born so that you would be living during this time? What is it that you're supposed to be accomplishing in your life and in the lives of others? Because whether we want to believe it or not, our lives affect somebody else's life. It really does. It really does. You can try to say that you're an island and that you're all by yourself. That is not true. You affect somebody else. You are always in contact with somebody else, whether you try to sit up in your house and stay away from people, or whether you have to go to work or whatever, you're going to encounter people, whether it's your family. What assignment is it that is in your family that you're supposed to be there to work out and to do? What is your purpose for being in that particular family? Because there's a purpose for you being in the family that you're even in. God designed it, he orchestrated it, he set it up to be that way. So why are we in the families that we're in? Why are we encountering the people that we encounter? Because any person that you meet up with and you begin to talk to and you begin to spend time with, or you have conversation with, or you consider that person to be your friend, there's a purpose for you being in that person's life. There's a purpose for them being in your life. There's a reason why they're there. So why are they there, and why am I here? Why am I in this person's life? Why did I happen to meet this person at this time? And we're still friends over years and years. We're still friends. Or I met this person and they were going through whatever they were going through at the time, and I was able to talk to them and get them through it, to get them to the other side of it, and then they're gone. And that was my purpose for that point in time, to move. But my true purpose lives on the inside of me. Who I am. What am I here for? What was I created for? What mission is it that I'm supposed to accomplish? What thing is it that I'm supposed to do? And sometimes we get caught up in the hype of being, the person. A lot of people look at the Oprah Winfrey's, the TD Jakes, the Cheryl Brady's, and all these other different people that we see out here, that we say Dutch Sheets, Chuck Pierce. We look at them and we say, oh, they're out here, and they're moving forward, and people, you say their names and people know who they are. And we think that that's what we're supposed to be attaining, where we're supposed to be going. But you know what? It takes time to sit and to hear what your purpose is, because it's already on the inside of you. A lot of people say, I'm going to find myself, and they take these, long sabbaticals, or they take these long trips where they're supposed to, just get in touch with themselves. You can do that even through a weekend. How about this weekend? Sit down and be quiet and be still and get in tune with God and ask him, what is my purpose? Why did you create me? What am I here to do? What do I need to do it for my life? What is my life supposed to shine forth with? What is it that I'm supposed to be doing? Am I doing it already? Am I walking in it already? Because sometimes we are, and we don't even realize it. Sometimes we are walking right where we're supposed to be, and we keep feeling like we're not in the right place, not because we feel like it on the inside and deep down in, but because somebody else told us that was not our place. Because somebody else said that you're not supposed to be there. And we believe what they say instead of believing what we know to be in our own heart, in our own spirit, man. We know that we're supposed to be in that place. We know that we're supposed to be, in the meetings and in the places that we're in. And you have somebody that comes and tells you, you ain't supposed to be there. You're not supposed to be in that place. You're not supposed to be doing that thing. And you know what? Don't listen to that. You need to know on the inside, where do I fit in? Where am I supposed to fit in? And I might not be supposing to fit in. I might be the one that stands out. So if I'm the one that stands out, then so be it. I'm going to stand out and I'm going to be the best me that I can be. You are looking at trying to find, what were you designed for? You were designed for a specific reason. You were designed for greatness, and that greatness is on the inside of you. Where are you destined to go? You want to know, God, where's the goal? What am I supposed, what is it that I need to be walking in and doing? Just like with this show, I told y'all many times, I feel like, man, maybe I should not be doing this. Maybe I should be doing something else. But every single time I even feel like, you know what, this is gonna be the last one. I'm not doing it anymore. There's this joy, this knowing that this is part of what I'm supposed to do. So I'll say, reach that one. Instead of trying to reach the masses, reach the one. Because when you reach the one, that one will reach another. And that's how you begin to reach the masses. I begin to think about, as in purpose, we have so many different people that cross our lives and come into our lives. Your purpose may be even just to pour into those people that come through your life. And you never know who you're ministering to. You never know who you're talking to. You never know that person you bought that cup of coffee for, who they're going to become or who they're going to be. It's just because you're being nice, because you're being kind, because you are being who you have been ordained to be, that you be a blessing in somebody else's life. And then they in turn end up being a blessing in many people's lives. Have you ever thought about who prayed for Billy Graham? Who was the person that prayed for him? This man reached the world with the message of Jesus Christ. But somebody prayed for him. Somebody invited him to Christ. Somebody poured into him. And we may not know that every person that poured into his life, every person that talked to him, every person that was there for him during the time that he was growing in Christ. You may not know those people, but you know Billy Graham. What about the T.D. Jakes of the world? Who poured into him? Who prayed for him? Who helped him get, through a rough patch or a rough area in his life? Who was that person that prayed him through? That person that encouraged him? That person that may have gotten him, a cup of coffee? I don't even know if the man drink coffee, but anyway, who was the one that poured into him? We have to think about those things, because there are people that are pouring into these people. There are people that are praying for them. They are there for them and they are ministering to them. And we get to see the person, but we rarely ever get to see the person that's behind the scenes that has prayed, that has ministered to them, that has poured their oil, the oil that God has given them on them. Yes, your uniqueness will always set you apart. It always sets you apart. You can walk into a room and try to hide. You can't hide. You can't hide in that room. Why? Because when you walk into a room, you change the atmosphere. You can change that total atmosphere. Sometimes, like even in a church setting, I was talking to someone not too long ago, but it was about, setting the atmosphere and setting things when you come in. Because they were talking about how people will come into a service and they'd be like, well, you know what? Praise and worship wasn't good today, and da 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 da. And they go on and on and on about how the service was not what they wanted, so to speak, or what they needed. I say you create the atmosphere that you need. You come in with a spirit of expectation. You come in setting the atmosphere. You do it. Why? Because you lead. You have that leader on the inside of you. Whether you're up in front of somebody leading or whether you're sitting next to that person on that road that follows you and you don't even know it, you're leading. So what you need to do is you set the atmosphere for what you're desiring and what you're wanting to grow. You come in with an expectation. When you walk into a meeting, when you walk into your job, you come in there expecting greatness, expecting all these wonderful things to happen. And I'm telling you, they will begin to happen. Why? Because you said it. I'm not moved by all this stuff that's going on the outside of me. I'm only moved by what's on the inside of me. So what I need to do is I need to know who I am and set the atmosphere when I walk in. Why? Because I'm walking in purpose. I walk with my head held high. I'm not going to walk in with my head down. I might be having a bad day. It may be some things that have happened before I even left home or something that is really like, oh, again today. But you know what? I can change that because why? I have purpose when I go into a building, when I go into that place, when I'm talking to that person. What is my purpose? God, show me my purpose so that I can be what I need to be in this moment. I can embrace that moment and be who I'm supposed to be in that moment. When you don't know the purpose of a thing, you misuse it, you mistreat it, you don't get everything out of it that you need to get out of it because you don't even know its purpose. And it's like taking a frying pan. You're supposed to put this in here and fry it up or saute or do what you need to do in the frying pan, but you're going to take the frying pan outside and try to dig with it like a shovel. Will it work? Eventually, it might work. You might can move some dirt around, but you will be more effective if you use the shovel. Why? Because the shovel was created to dig into the ground and to dig that hole for you. It take you a lot longer using a frying pan than it would a shovel. It's just that simple. We need to know, yes, you set the atmosphere for your expectations of purpose. You set that atmosphere. Nobody else can set it for you. And what you have to do is you have to begin to walk things out. You have to know the purpose of that thing. Know the purpose. Know your purpose. Because when you know your purpose, you won't misuse you. You won't treat yourself wrong. You will know, okay, these are things that I can do. And I'm going to do them and I do them well. But if it's something that I don't do quite well and I know I want, this thing done a certain way, I know how to go get the person that does know how to do this. Not that I completely don't know what to do, but if I know somebody that does it better and they will do it, yes, I will use that person and let them do it because I know my lane and I know who I am. I know that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And I believe that whatever situation that God puts me in, I can flourish in there. But I do know that some people are anointed to do what they do. So I let them go do it. And I said, oh, you know what? I'm going to call sister so-and-so, brother so-and-so, or my friend over here, my friend over there. Let them do that because that's their expertise. And I'm going to let them walk in it. I'm going to let them do it. We take so much on ourselves and we try to be all things to all people. And we cannot be all things to all people. You can be you. You can be uniquely you and do what you're supposed to do. But when you know who you are and you know what you can do, you know your triggers, you know what will set you off, you know what will cause you to like fall back into this thing of, oh man, you're pushing back, your little triggers and your little things that's going on with you. So then you're able to deal with those areas and continue to press forward and continue to go forward and be who you have been called to be. How do I know who I've been called to be? I spend time with him, with the Lord, with my Father. I spend time with him. Why? Because he created me. And whether people want to believe it or not, I believe that just that we were with him Before the foundations of the world, we were there. He had already thought my life through. He had me in mind when he created everything else. So then when he birthed me during the time that he wanted me to be here. So if I want to know who I am, I need to get to know who he is. Because if I get to know who he is and I spend more time with him, guess what? I'm going to get to know who I am. And I'm going to walk out my purpose. I'm going to do what I need to do. I'm going to fulfill everything that is on the inside of me. I want to fulfill everything. I want to walk in every area that is on the inside of me to walk in. I don't want to leave no stone, overturned. I want to turn them all up. I want to find out what treasures is in this earthen vessel. What purposes are there that I haven't tapped into yet? Some things I know, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. That's your purpose. That's what you're walking in. But this over here too, there's something there for you. So we have to realize that we are a great people and we are multifaceted. We have so much on the inside of us. We serve a great God who does great things. And we are his people, so we're great people. And we have so much on the inside of us, and we need to begin to walk in it and shine. It's not that I'm trying to outshine anybody, nope. But I want my shine. I want my glow to show up. It's like the light that I have, I want it to show up in darkness. I want somebody to see that light. Why? So they'll be drawn to the light so that I can talk to them, so that I can share with them how I got this light. Because you know what? This light doesn't go out. It doesn't go out. It just keeps growing and burning and brighter. Why? Because the more I get settled in who I have been called to be, the better and the brighter the light is going to get. Because I know me. So that I'm able to be confident in me. And I'm going to tell y'all something. I didn't have this all the time. I didn't. I was the person that stayed in the background. I was the person that didn't talk at all to anybody. I always felt like I was less than. I always felt like I didn't measure up to whatever somebody else was thinking that I should be. And I thought all the time that I was less. No matter what situation was, I was less. I wasn't worthy of this and I wasn't worthy of that. And it took a while to come up out of that. But I started to realize I am who I am. I have purpose on the inside of me. I started realizing that there's a reason you're here. There's a reason why things happen the way that they happen. So you need to embrace this. You need to learn and you need to keep moving and keep growing and keep pushing forward. Even in the word, David knew his purpose. He knew his purpose. He was anointed to be king. But do you know he had to wait about 15 years before he walked in being a king? He was already anointed to do it. He already had the ability on the inside of him. God had already called him out and set him apart and told, the oil flow on him. And where did he go? Right back out there to those sheep. Because it was a space and time where he had to walk that out before he actually walked into what he was supposed to do. So we can't think that these things are going to happen overnight either. He knew what his purpose was. He was anointed for it, but he still had to wait for it. And then I look at Gideon. Gideon in the Bible didn't even know what his purpose was. He out here threshing wheat, and God said, you're the champion. You're the one that's going to come in and get things in order and get these people together. You're the one that's going to, be the champion for Israel. He didn't even realize it. He was like, not me. My family is poor, and my family is this. And he identified where he was. Don't let your environment be your identity. Yes, a space. And timing is everything. Yes. Timing is everything. But it's like at the time, Gideon didn't even know. But you know what? He listened to God. He ended up walking where he was supposed to walk. But in the beginning, he couldn't see it because he was like, well, my family is this. And my family, my family's poor. We don't do this and we don't do that. And how many of us give those excuses? When God speaks something to our hearts, or when we feel in our hearts, we know this is something you're supposed to do. This is where you need to go. This is where you need to be. Or you hear, this is going to go this way. Or you hear, this is what I'm supposed to be. This is the place where I'm supposed to walk. And how many of us say, nah, not me. My family, we're a family of this, because people do, they like, well, my family don't do that, they do this, or we don't measure up to this because I grew up in the projects, so I grew up doing this right here, so I don't see how we would ever do that. Or you never had that person to go to college and to graduate, so you're like, no, that's not going to happen because our family don't have people that go to college, or our family don't have this, or our family is a family that does this, but we don't do this over here. But you hear on the inside of you, you feel on this inside of you this pull for this area, and you pull back because you say, well, I haven't seen it before. Maybe you need to be the first one to map out that path, to cut down those weeds, to make a path for somebody else to come through, so they won't have it as hard as you did. But because you buckle down and you push through and you made the way, then they're able to come through. They're able to come through. Even when Jesus was on this earth, if you go back and you read in your word, he was here and he gave us examples. He could have done so many different things. When all these people were sick and needed to be healed and all these other things, he could have spoke a word. Everybody could have been healed. Everything could have been done. He could have went on about his business. But there was a purpose for him being here. There was a purpose to show others that example. There's a purpose to every single thing that he did. Everything was an example. It was a reason why it was being done. And we have to say, okay, why was it done this way? Why did he do it this way and not that way? You need to see the lessons in your purpose too, because you are a purposeful being. You are purposeful. You are important. You are here for a reason. Don't let nobody tell you any different. There's something on the inside of you that the world needs to see. And that world may be your world right within your family. That may be people in your community. That may be people that you see at work. It may be that one person that you have that one-on-one time with, and you have literally changed their world. All because you spoke a word, all because you was there when nobody else was there, all because you went and sat with them. You didn't say anything. You just sat with them. And you let them sit, you let them cry, you let them vent, you let them talk. But because you sat there, because you was there, they may forget everybody else, but they'll remember you. Why? Because you were walking in your purpose at that time. We need to realize purpose is so broad and it is so big, but we need to walk in it. And don't think that you don't know, because you do. You do know what your purpose is. It may take you sitting down, like I said, this weekend. You may have to go sit down and be still and be quiet. A lot of us have so many different distractions. We got our TVs, we got our phones, we got all kind of devices everywhere. Every room you walk into, there's a device, and you on that device 24 hours a day if you could. Some of us fall asleep with the device in our hand, and first thing we get up in the morning, we grab the device to see what's on it, what happened while I was asleep. Sometimes you need to put all that down. You need to sit still. You need to be quiet. And you need to just listen. Just listen. Create an atmosphere, even in your home. Create that atmosphere, even in your home. Sit and be still and be quiet and listen. You will be amazed at what would happen. You may even begin to dream again. Why? All because you had the time to sit and be still and be quiet. Sometimes we get so frustrated about everything that's going on, and we're trying to do so many things at so many times, and we're running and we're trying to do this and and we don't sit and be still. And then we're like, oh, I got to get away, because I got to find myself. And I've seen people do that, but you know what? You can find yourself in the peace and in the still. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know what your purpose is. All you got to do is be still. That's why sometimes you walk into something, you be like, I've been here before. Or, oh, that seemed like a deja vu moment right there. It seemed like that happened before. Because you've already been shown. That's me. That's the way I believe it. I believe that God showed us that He poured it on the inside of us, and that's why we connect with certain areas. That's why we connect even with certain people. That's why, and that's Angela. That's the way I feel, is that it's already on the inside of me. So when I connect with that person, or I connect with that particular ministry, or I connect with those people on my job, and I might be saying, you know what, God, why am I here on this job? Because I ended up in a job, guys, that I didn't even think that I could do. I was like, there's no way these people are going to hire me. And guess what? They hired me. They hired me. And I was like, God, why am I here? Because I didn't feel like I had the know-how to be able to walk into that job. But I was like, okay, I'm here. God, what are you going to do? So I opened up the door to allow Him to minister, allow Him to move the way He wants to do. And there's simple things that He may have you do throughout the course of the time that you're at that particular job. You may be saying, I want out of here. Have you ever stopped to say, God, why am I here? Instead of every morning saying, I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here. I hate this. I can't stand this. Be still. I said, God, why am I here? Why am I at this job? Why am I at this building? Why do you have me at home working? Why am I not out and about back at the job? God, why am I here at this particular place at this particular time? Of course, we work those jobs. We get paid. We get our money so that we can take care of our homes, our jobs, and take care of ourselves and have food, because we need the money coming in. But there's a deeper purpose because of where you are. Look at the people that are around you. God, why these people? Why am I connected with these people? Why am I in this family? What is it that I need to pour into somebody, even in my household, in my family? Who is it that I need to let them know that they are wonderful, that they are important? Who is it that I need to talk to? Because I have found that a lot of times with our families, we are less lenient. We don't give grace to family members. Somebody outside who is not our family, we're like, you give them grace for years. You just pour into them and you just love on them. And then somebody in your family can do the exact same thing. And you be like, I can't even believe she did that. I don't believe he said that. Please, I'm done with them. But that person that's outside of your family, you just give them all the grace in the world. Have you ever sat down and said, God, why this family? God, why did you create me to look the way that I look and to be the person that I am? There's a reason for it. I'm not just here by some mishap or mistake. There is a purpose for me. And I'm going to walk in it. And you know what it is. So just, square your shoulders, get ready for the growth. Get ready to move forward. Get ready to walk in your purpose fully. You may have walked in some areas that you said, yep, that was part of my purpose. That was what I was supposed to do. But then you may be facing some things. You be like, oh, God, this right here? Yeah, that right there. That's your next area. That's your next person. That's where you're supposed to walk into. That's where you're supposed to break free and walk into another level of you. Another level of you. Yes, no one, I agree 100%. No one can do that assignment like you can. That thing that you, no one can do it like you. They may have the same, somebody told it to me like this, and I was like, this is just so awesome. They said you could walk into a grocery store, and in the grocery store, there's all kinds of bread that you can buy. You know, you got the store brand, you got some brand, you got Wonder, you know, all these different Nature's Own, you know, and different people gonna choose that different bread. They know what bread they like, that's what they're gonna gravitate to. And it's like that with us. Just because you might be another brand of bread, you'd be like, oh, that's already out there. You might be that other brand, but you're the brand that that person over there needs. You're the brand that that person back there needs. And believe me, they're gonna choose which one. They're gonna choose their brand. Don't just say, oh, I give up. I ain't gonna even make the bread, you know, because everybody doing bread. No, nobody can do it like you can. Nobody can do that thing like you can. Nobody. When my mom would bake cookies and bake cakes, I knew Annie cooks cookies and I knew her cakes because nobody could do it like her. Just like my friend Karen Ross, she is a baker too, and she makes all kinds of desserts. Oh, I love them. Nobody can touch hers, and I can tell hers from anybody else's. So it's what is in you. Your assignment is you. Embrace it, love it, walk in it, walk in your divine purpose. This weekend, guys, take the time just to be quiet. Sit down somewhere and be still. Don't try to grab something, you know, to read and grab all this other stuff. Get, like I told you the other week, get your journal, which I'm reaching for mine right now so I can show it to you. But get your journal, write down some stuff after you receive what you need to receive. After you, it's like it says, do more of what makes you happy. This is your journey. Be passionate, embrace every moment. And that's what we need to do. Embrace it all. And I hold my journal, you know, to me because I'm like, you know, that's just write down. Be still and start writing. Be still and start hearing again. Start hearing again. And when you hear, be obedient to what you're hearing. Be obedient. And you saw some people like, well, how do I know it's even, you know, God that's speaking to me? Because you need to know his word. If you know his word, then what he says is going to line up with his word. It's not going to go outside of the word. It's going to line up with the word. And then you'll know, oh, okay, you have this peace on the inside of you. Oh, okay, this is what I need to do. This is how I need to go about this. That's why God wanted me in this position or at this place. Because sometimes we think our positions in companies or your position in government or your position on that board is just because, ooh, you know, I got it going on and I got to be on. No, 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 no. There's a reason why God allowed you in there and put you in those positions with those people of influence. There's a reason why. So when you get in there, make sure that you're listening and that you hear his voice. But more importantly, to this weekend, guys, sit. Take some time out and just set that time aside and say, I'm going to sit, I'm going to be still, and I want to hear God. What is my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing? Who am I supposed to be talking to? Is this the time where I just need to be quiet? Yes, he speaks in so many ways. And if we are still, yes, Victoria, we need to be still enough to listen. Sometimes we just too busy. And just like I told y'all a couple of weeks ago, sometimes we watch them reruns. And I'm guilty. You sit there, you know what's going to happen. And you sitting there like, you know, like this is a brand new show. But you know exactly what's going to happen. Sometimes you need to turn that off. And you need to sit and you need to be still and be quiet and say, God, what is my purpose? What am I supposed to do? What am I here for? Why did you put me in this family? You put me here for a reason, and I want to know the reason so I can walk in it and walk in it with joy and with fullness. And I don't compare myself with anybody else, guys. I compare myself against my destiny. God, where am I supposed to be, and where I am right now? You know, I need to make sure that I am going forward for the right purpose. I'm not doing it to get applause, for people to clap for me, for people to sing for me, for people to say, whoo, Angela got it going on. No, to hear God say you did good. That's what I want to hear on a daily. You did good today. And that's what I want to hear, that I walked where I was supposed to walk and did what I was supposed to do and accomplish what I was supposed to accomplish in that day. That's what I want. And I want that for y'all too. So make sure that this weekend, guys, that you do what you need to do and you sit, you be still, you be quiet. And I want to hear what God spoke to you. And did something change? Did you hear something that you already knew? Because like I said, you already know your purpose. Guys, this is it for me on tonight. The time goes by really quick, but I wanted to just share with you purpose. Make sure you walk in your purpose, you know it, and that you love it. Just love where you are on the way to where you're going. Embrace every moment. Don't let a moment go by that you don't embrace it. We need to embrace every moment. And just like I'm getting ready to write in this journal, because every time I do a show, I said I'm going to sit down, I'm going to write in the journal when I finish. But in my journal, I'm going to do a Dear Angela. It's like Dear Angela. And tonight I'm going to talk to Angela about purpose. So tonight in your journal, my whole and beautiful nation, talk to yourself about purpose. What is it that you see that your purpose is? What is it that you're already walking into? And what are you looking forward to walking into? Embrace your purpose, embrace you, and love you. I am Angela D. Oliphant, allowing you to see, to hear, and to know that whole and beautiful is not just your destination, it is most definitely your journey. Join me again here next week at 7 p.m. I will be right back here on Friday night. And if you missed any part of this show, you can listen on tomorrow at 4 p.m. Invite somebody else to come in, share it with somebody else, let them know that they can walk in their divine purpose. Let them know that they are important, not only to you, but to this world. Okay, guys, y'all have a great and productive weekend. And I'll see y'all again next week, 7 p.m., right here for Whole and Beautiful. Have a good night, guys. Love you.